and welcome back to another video. I'm stood up, which can only mean one thing. We are acrylic pouring today. You may get a bit of an influx of acrylic pours because I'm filming a big bunch all at once. But today's I actually thought would be a bit different. We are pouring on coasters, which I know some of you might be a bit bored of. I do that quite often in my pouring videos, but I thought today we would look at a comparison. So when I first started pouring on coasters, I was kind of doing it more of a hobby, kind of testing it out, seeing how it worked, and so I didn't want to spend loads of money on ceramics that were supposed to be for pouring on, and therefore I used to buy wall tiles. Now these were from B&Q. I believe they've discontinued this size, but I'm sure some of your local tile shops will have them. But it is a pre-glazed tile, so it's all ceramic, but it does have that glazing on there, which you would think wouldn't be very good, because when I use my proper sublimation coasters that are very nice, they absorb the paint really well and they dry very nicely and cleanly. And now I want to show you the comparison, because using this isn't bad. I've used these for a few years until I discovered these, and I've never had an issue with them other than slight cracking if you lay your paint on a little too thick. So we will have a look at a comparison with these, and we'll do a few different ones just to see, maybe a few different techniques. But basically I wanted to show that if you are starting off, this is a perfect cheaper alternative to a sublimation coaster, and show that it actually does dry and it's the only thing I will say about these is once it's dried on here, and it does dry very well, if you chip into it, it will peel off, so you have to varnish it straight away to stop that from happening. But they are a good alternative, and that's basically the premise, after me waffling, of this video. And that's what we're going to look at, is the differences between a cheaper wall tile and a sublimation coaster that is supposed to be used for this type of thing. So let's get into it. Let's start mixing some paint and pouring on these tiles. Okay, so both of these are now dry. So comparison. This, I'm saying this like you know which one's which. The sublimation coaster dried within a couple of hours. This was touch dry. Yes, the actual ceramic was very wet because it had absorbed all the moisture and caused the paint to dry really quick, but the paint itself was dry. However, this tile actually took about a day and a half to fully dry, so that it was touch dry. I can rub it. So the drying time is probably your main factor and main difference between using a tile and using a sublimation coaster. The next difference, this actually comes out a lot smoother on a tile because it's not being absorbed quite as much, and it's kind of just sitting on top, so you don't get many air bubbles coming out. Just ignore this lump here, there's obviously a bit of a sifting paint issue. But yes, there's not many air bubbles on there. It's a nice smooth finish, where if you look closely, I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up, but there are a few air bubbles on here where I've popped them, but then it's dried so quickly that it's not leveled out the paint again, which I would say is a downfall on the sublimation coaster side. But other than that, there's not too many differences. So you've got, obviously I used a grey tile, and so you do get the edge, because it's a bit beveled, you do see a bit of that grey edge poking through your paint there, whereas it's a lovely uniform curved edge on this sublimation coaster, which is obviously very nice. There's a nicer finish.
with the coasters, these come, the ones that I buy, these actually come with the cork bases, whereas the tiles do not, so I have to buy cork and then cut that to size and put it on, which again is another disadvantage. But all in all, you can get some really nice results on a tile, and if you are starting out and you want to try making coasters, I suggest getting those tiles. You can get them pretty cheap, and it's just a really fun way of starting off doing ceramic acrylic pour tiles before you venture into starting to get the more quality products. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the comparisons there. I mean, I'd happily use these tiles still. I just really like the finish on the sublimation coasters, but I'll let you be the judge of that. And if you do want to try it, I'm just showing you another option of what you can do for starting off acrylic pouring on ceramics. So I hope that was a bit of an informative video. It's a bit different. It's a bit of a quick one because I am in the process of packing up and moving, so I'm trying to film some videos and sometimes they're a bit shorter than usual. But I hope you enjoyed that all the same, and I hope to see you in the next video.